Welcome back to Patch Notes, your daily briefing on everything breaking in tech and gaming. Let us begin where the wreckage is freshest. Bloomberg and Kotaku report Microsoft is preparing to shut Compulsion Games, the South of Midnight studio, with wider layoffs lined up for after the fiscal year closes on June 30. On the same news cycle, Xbox Game Studios head Craig Duncan and his chief of staff Louise O'Connor announced they are out. Two of the senior people in charge of first-party games gone in the same week as a studio closure leak. Tying it all together is a now public internal memo titled Next 100 Days, Xbox Reset, from new Xbox CEO Ashish Sharma and content boss Matt Booty. It lays out in writing that the math no longer works. The numbers, as cited by GeekWire and Jamatsu, more than $20 billion spent on content and hardware subsidy over 5 years, while annual revenue fell roughly $500 million. Cheerful. Sharma's actual line, per the memo, is the kind of phrase you frame and hang above the cubicles of everyone about to be laid off. From one bleak press release to another, Electronic Arts officially launched EA Advertising on June 15, a dedicated business unit selling dynamic, real-time brand placements inside FC, Madden, college football, and the rest of their lineup. Confirmed launch partners, per EA's own announcement, include Visa, Lowe's, Red Bull, Xfinity, Peacock, and Mountain Dew. So your virtual sports career now has a sponsor reel that would make a NASCAR jumpsuit blush. The case study EA is leading with is the Mountain Dew DEW University playable team in College Football 26. That is not a parody. There is a fictional college team named after a soda, and you can play as them. Chief Experiences Officer David Tinson is the public face of the rollout, and he insists this is, and I quote, "A month after Turtle Woe W's lights went out, Blizzard's lawyers are back." On June 12, they filed a 51-page federal complaint in the Central District of California against Project Ascension, the long-running World of Warcraft private server. Ascension is the classless private server, the one where players mix abilities across classes into builds Blizzard never sanctioned. It has been running for roughly a decade, and per the suit, has been very busy. The complaint runs 9 counts, including copyright infringement, DMCA circumvention, false designation of origin, and, the spicy one, civil RICO racketeering. Blizzard alleges millions of client copies distributed and millions of dollars pulled in through donation points for in-game items. There is also a geopolitical garnish. Filings note Ascension's servers run on a Russian host already sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury. Which is, an interesting detail to wave at a federal judge. Some good news, if you enjoy your good news drenched in fog and faintly menacing. After years of Friday the 13th licensing being radioactive, Jason Voorhees actually arrives in Dead by Daylight today. His power, called omnipresent evil, makes him invisible while active and blankets the trial in heavy fog. Survivors are tracked by mist clouds when they stand still and by footprints when they run, which is, frankly, not a great deal for the survivors. It is also the tentpole of Behavior's 10th anniversary push, and it lands after a notably bumpy lead-in. The Hellraiser and Halloween licenses were recently pulled from the game, so they really needed this one to work. Behavior put the moment in suitably grim marketing speak, which fits the franchise more than they probably intended. Onto a goodbye that is, in classic Ubisoft fashion, also a sales pitch. Title Update 1111 for Assassin's Creed Shadows goes live today across all platforms, and Ubisoft has confirmed it is the game's final patch. The headline edition is a free story chapter called Black Tides, where Nea and Yasuk face 2 high-ranking Templars known as the Black Cross. Those Templars, helpfully, tie directly into Edward Kenway's story in next month's Black Flag Resync. There is also a new endgame mode called Domains, 2 more Animus Hub projects, and a pile of gear. Ubisoft is genuinely framing this as a real send-off rather than the usual silent shrug. Ubisoft's framing of the whole thing on their official channel is just a touch defensive, which is how you know they have been reading the replies. Finally, a chunk of news where nobody got fired. Steam Next Fest opened yesterday at 10 a.m. Pacific and runs through June 22, with close to 5,000 free playable demos. If you have a job, you are not finishing them all. The headline demos getting most of the coverage. Capcom's Onimusha, Way of the Sword, 1666, Amsterdam from Assassin's Creed creator Petrus Desolates, and the Titanfall-flavored mech shooter EMPULSC from 1047 Games. Also worth opening, Warhammer 40,000, Boltgun 2, The Souls-like Valor Mortis and Medieval Trader RPG The Guild, Europa 1410. Something for the gloomy, the gloomier, and the merchants. And as a closing kindness, Valve has queued the Steam Summer Sale 2026 to start June 25, 3 days after Next Fest ends. So you can try a demo, decide you like it, and then immediately pay less for it. Enjoy your 9-day window of cautious optimism. That is your June 16, 2026. Xbox is restructuring, EA is advertising, Blizzard is litigating, behavior is finally Jasoning, Ubisoft is waving goodbye, and Valve is, as usual, taking your money in an orderly fashion. Subscribe if you enjoy watching all of this on a schedule. That's your patch notes for today. Subscribe so you do not miss tomorrow's collapse.